Okay, so let's continue and we will now talk about product testing. Any guesses about what this term means? We have covered it earlier, but do you remember any guesses? Do you know what blind product testing means? You have to be louder. Use the mic, please.
Before releasing a product in the market, the product has to be a certain parameters that like a consumer can buy. So before releasing the product in the market
not specific enough. You're getting there, but you have to be more specific.
Before releasing the product in the market,
before launching the product
in the market, the marketer we need to know is the product gonna work in the market or
Very
not.
good, excellent. So they will test the product. So for example, some months ago, what we did in this office is our client had made a new kind of chocolate cream biscuit, right? And he wanted his biscuit to take on Britannia has Bourbon biscuits, right? He wanted to compete with that brand in the market. So he wanted a product test. So what did we do? We called some children to the office and we had our client's product given to them as a sample. We also had Britannia given to them as a sample. So we gave this product, we said, you taste it, give us feedback. Then we gave this product, taste it, give us feedback, tell us which is better. This is called product testing. Okay. In this, there are certain concepts, specific terms that we need to be familiar with. Now, we have something called blind product testing. Can you tell me what it means? Take a guess if you don't remember. Yes.
So like without revealing the brand or something.
Excellent. That is blind product testing. So when we gave the biscuits to this person, we did not take it out of the pack. Before itself, we took it out on the pack. We repacked it in plain foil. And we gave to the person saying, open it. So the child may have guessed that it's a Bourbon. May have guessed. But we did not say that it's Bourbon. So that is called blind product testing. Right? There is something called monadic and there is something called sequential monadic. Now you cannot guess what this could be, but do you remember by any chance? Monadic means you give only one product. That one product you give and you ask the consumer, respondent, whether he or she likes it. Sequential monadic means you give 2 products or 3 products. First one product, take feedback. Then one product, take feedback. Okay? Then there are 2 other terms. That is central location test. Central location versus in-home. Can you tell me what this may be? This you can guess. Central location versus in-home. Want me to turn this for you? Yes, you have to use this, please.
If this product testing is happening, like if we are sending the customers our products for testing, it will be like in home testing.
Very good.
And so said no, that you ask some children to come here, and
that's called central location. Excellent. So under what conditions will you do in-home testing? Under what conditions will you do central location testing? Think logically. There's no market research funda here. It's just logic. Go ahead. Go ahead, talk about it.
We had some project about some hair oil.
Okay, hair oil. What was that? Was it in home?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because it needs 2-3 days for that testing. There was
Very good.
2-3 samples.
Excellent. We cannot make people come and stay here for 2-3 days. Therefore, there is one reason to in home. Also, we cannot make people come here and apply hair oil and then have a bath here. Right? It's too complicated. So in home. Sometimes we give cooking oil in home because we want people to prepare it in their house, in their style. Some people use more oil, some people use less oil. In their style, they should prepare dishes. Variety of dishes. We'll give it to them for 1 week. Come back.
Crowd, sir.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Like we can
Crowd. Did you say crowd?
crowd.
CROWD.
Like we can do central location testing, like in a mall.
No. See, very often if you go to supermarket, you'll find some people giving you a sample. No, that's not formal market research.
Okay.
In formal market research, even the sampling process is carefully controlled, the selection of respondents. We don't do these things in malls. And we identify people, we invite them to a central place to come and taste it. It's a very controlled process, very controlled process. Product testing is very carefully controlled. So central location is when you want to control the temperature at which the people have the product, for example. So talking of this, I'll give you, I must have given the same example, I don't remember, I must have given the same example when covering this chapter, when we did the detailed questionnaires and everything. But you know, in my first year at work, I was doing research, I was working for IMR Big Kantar, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, and Pepsi had asked us to do a central location test for Pepsi soft drinks. At that time, the popular brand of cola soft drink in India was Thumbs Up. So we had to invite people to central location. First we'll give them a glass of Pepsi, then we'll give them a glass of Thumbs Up and ask them which is better. So it's carefully controlled also because the temperature at which the soft drink is served must be between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. It seems soft drinks taste best only at that temperature. And if you give it to them in their home conditions, you cannot control how they have it.
Like this tasting depends on the product. You
Yeah.
can randomly do it. You cannot randomly do it.
You cannot just random is in the context of sampling is a strict word. What you mean is you cannot generally do it. You cannot generally do it. It is a very carefully planned process. Right? There is one more concept that you should know here called order rotation. Okay? Meaning, if your total sample size is 120 people, for example, let's say 120 children for the biscuit example, 60 people will be given board-borne first and then our client's sample. The other 60 people will be given our client sample first and then board-borne. Why? Because some respondents will have this tendency to always say the sample that I got first is better or the sample I got second is better. So we rotate the order to eliminate. In the oil example also you may remember A, B, C for some people, B, C, A for some people, C, A. That is called order rotation. So these are 4 important concepts. Blind product test, monadic and sequential monadic, central location versus in-home, order rotation. Right? And all clients have some kind of, benchmark. If I'm comparing my product versus a product which is already in the market, the board-borne is a very successful brand in the market. If I bring one more product which is only equal to board-borne, it is not enough for me to get market share. Because they are already such a big brand, consumers will have loyalty to that brand. I must bring a product which is better than board-borne. So they will have some benchmark that in my sample survey, at least 60% of consumers must say that my brand is better than board-borne. Some such, standing out from the crowd in terms of this is product quality, before even bringing in brand. No. Then you bring the brand name and that will only improve the brand's attraction. Purely as a product, is it good enough? Right? So, there are consumers, in the Pepsi study, there were consumers who can recognize Thumbs Up even though we didn't tell them the brand name. There are consumers who are thumbs up loyal consumers, but without the brand name they could not recognize it. Okay? One, again, there's an example I would have given earlier, probably, I don't remember. One, not in a market research context, but one proof of why product testing should be blind. Because blind is the brand effect should not be there. It should not confuse the consumer's mind because there is some perception about the brand. Right? One proof of why this is there is a world famous violinist, very famous violinist, stood at the corner of a street and played. Right? Nobody even stopped to listen. People just continued. But the same person, if they see his name in the concert hall, they'll pay money to go. That's because most people can't make out the great violin just by listening. It is the whole perception attached to the brand name which makes them think it is good. Right? Just a pure product by itself they could not recognize. That is why we need blind product testing. Clear? Okay, fine. So let's move on to a couple of other important things that we should know. India has some large studies, syndicated studies. Syndicated study means the research company will do the study and every client who is interested can buy the report. So there are some very large syndicated studies which give you the market share of different brands. Okay, so there's something called retail audit. There's something called consumer panel. There is something called the TV audience panel. And there's something called the Indian Readership or the National Readership Survey, NRS. Okay, so I'll tell you each of this briefly. It's all been covered in the notes anyway. Right? What is retail audit? You have a panel of shops. When I say panel of shops, they have agreed to give you data month on month. They have agreed to say, yes, you are a research agency. You have appointed me to be on a panel. The correct word is empaneled. You have empaneled me. This is a sample of shops. So it will be a sample of Kirana shops. Kirana shop is grocery shops, grocery shop, petty shops, supermarkets, departmental stores, so on and so forth. It will be a representative sample of different kinds of shops. Right? Just to test your memory. What is the definition of supermarket? We covered this. What is the definition of a supermarket?
It is a big size of.
Yeah, it is big. What else?
Where everything in one roof.
Not necessarily. You don't get a bicycle in a supermarket, do you? Not necessarily.
Daily needs.
Daily needs. The definition of a supermarket compared to a kirana shop or grocery shop.
It's a big size of market.
It is self-service.
Self-market.
You go there, you pick up from the shelf and you go for. That is a supermarket.
Like there is product which is.
Which you can go and pick up, which is there arranged in the shelf, in the aisles. That is a supermarket. Whereas in the grocery shop, you will stand and say, I want that, you will point, and then they will give it to you.
Like self-management is very important.
Correct. Absolutely. Right? So it will have, this retail audit will have a panel of different kind of shops. The research company's field person will go to the shop and he will, let's say we're talking about biscuits for example, he will count how many packs there are of milk bikis. Number of packs. And he will count the number of packs which are 50 grams, 100 grams, or whatever the pack size is. He will count how many packs there are. Okay, so let us say there are 10 packs here in that shop. Then he will go after 1 month. And once again he will count. And now let us say there are 8 packs. In between, the shop fellow would have bought 5 packs, for example. Just for example. He'll ask the shop fellow, how many packs of milk bikis did you buy? Show me the bill. The shop fellow will show him. Why? Because he's empaneled, right? He's already agreed to participate in the survey. So what is the sales It was 10. Now it is 8. So at least 2 pieces he has sold. Plus he has bought 5 pieces in between. So his total stock was 10 plus 5. Correct? He had 10 plus he bought 5. And he has got only 8 now. So he has sold 7 pieces. 8 standard mathematics. He will do this for every brand, for every pack size. Right? SKU. What does the term SKU mean? Vaguely remember.
Last, you refers to unit, I think.
Yes, last term is unit.
I know.
Stock keeping
Stock
unit.
keeping unit.
Loosely, the 100-gram bottle is 1 SKU, 50-gram bottle is 1 SKU, 100-gram the throwaway pack is 1 SKU. They're all separate SKUs. It is a unique kind of pack. That's all it means. So he will do this for every SKU, for every brand, for every category. For toothpaste, for soap, for biscuits, for not for breads and products like that. For these packaged goods, he will do it. And from the sample of shops, they'll protect the population of shops in that city. From that city, they'll project to extrapolate. When I say project, I mean extrapolate to the population of shops in the state, in the country. And therefore, they will say, based on our sample, which is large sample, 10,000, 12,000 kind of shops in the country, the total sales of milk bikis in the country is so many tons or so many rupees. And out of total biscuit sale, milk biki share is 10% or 8% or whatever it is. So this is the source of market share data. Right? We have detailed notes. You can go back and refer this. Consumer panel gives you the same thing, but it gives it from consumers. Here you have a panel of consumers. And these consumers are empaneled. They will write down whatever they buy. They are given a diary for that purpose. Whatever they buy, they will write down. Again, there's a sample. From the sample, they project the population. So this particular lady bought, 1 shampoo pack of this brand. She got 3 biscuits brands of this pack, of this brand, etc., etc. From that sample, we'll go to the population, and you'll say, this is the total, sale of the product, this is the total share of the product. Also, this is the profile of consumers who are buying it. So, milk bikis is bought by families who have children who are aged between 5 and 10, whereas Good Day is bought by families who have children aged between 10 and 15. That kind of analysis will come from the consumer panel. Right? And if one brand is losing share, another brand is gaining share, they will say, from this brand, consumers are going to this brand. Every month the report will come. Because every month is a reporting cycle. So the retail audit is done by the world's largest research company called Nielsen. The consumer panel is run by a company called Kantar, which used to be called IMRB earlier. Now it's called Kantar. Right? These are large multinational market research companies. They're doing it across 50, 60 countries, including in India. Okay. What is TV audience panel? Similarly, a panel of consumers is set up, and they will have something in their home called people meter. Through the people meter, we track what is the TV program that they are watching, at what time of day, for how many minutes, from this time to this time, in that house, who is watching which TV program.
Like TRP.
It is TRP. This is the source of TRP. This is the source of TRP. What does TRP stand for? Television rating point. 1 TRP is equal to 1% of people watching the program. So from this data, when ads come on the TV, right, they will know which program is having more viewership, so I should put my ad there. That is how marketers take the decision on where to put the ad. Right? The importance of this TV TRP data is for marketers to plan advertising. The media plan it's called. Clear? You can go back in the presentation and refer the terms about impression and TRP and OTS. All those terms we've explained there. Likewise, NRS is National Readership Survey. This is again used by companies to plan in which newspaper and magazine they should put the ad. So it is a random survey among consumers to find out which papers they read, which magazines they read. Do you read any daily newspaper? No. Do you read any daily newspaper? No. Do you? But when? When you were at home, back in Kerala, you were reading Manorama. Malayalam Manorama. Okay. I thought your college makes it compulsory to read Economic Times.
News reading session in every night from Monday to Saturday.
Now it's not there.
It's there, but we are not doing that
because you're in internship. But when you go back, you will read the paper. It will come to your room.
Not paper, it's
e-paper.
E-paper.
Okay.
It's like according to roll number, every student have to read.
Okay. So my generation, we don't feel the day has started properly unless we have read the physical newspaper. If we not had a morning coffee and not had the newspaper, we think something wrong today types. For us, it is a very important part of our lives, right? So it's a deep emotional attachment that we have to the daily newspaper. You tell me to read e-paper, I'll be like, I don't know all that, man. I read the physical. I'm sure your parents must be like that, right? It's a habit. It's a deep habit for us. So the newspaper readership. If more people read Times of India compared to Indian Express, then companies want to advertise in Times of India. Times of India also go to the marketers and say, more people are reading my paper, so please give me more advertising money. Correct? So NRS is the study which gives you that. In India alone it's called IRS. Because of COVID right now it is not happening. Because market research field, this happens, you go to the house and do door knocks. But in COVID times, it is not very safe, so some of these studies have temporarily stopped, but they will start again. So you got an idea of retail audit, consumer panel, right? Okay, there is one more thing that I want to talk about, which I have not covered in the notes. So I'll do that here. Don't confuse the panel for retail audit or consumer or the TRP panel. This is not the same as something called access panels. Access panels is a different concept. Are you alright? Access panels is a concept where people say you can periodically send me surveys and I'll fill up. I'm accessible. The research agency can access me as a respondent to fill up surveys. It could be on any subject. So I will fill up a registration form, right? So there is not like a consumer panel where every time I'm filling the same diary. This is like, today you send me a survey about my reading habits. Tomorrow you send me a survey about which movies I was watching. Day after tomorrow you send me surveys about, what are my favorite brands of soap. For whichever survey you think I am eligible based on my age and gender and my education profile, you can send me the survey. You can send it to me online or you can reach me on the phone. I have registered on the panel saying I will keep answering your surveys. You can access me to answer your survey. That's why it's called access panels. Right? And every time I fill up a survey, you will pay me some money. There's a monitoring. It's called incentive.
Like the project, school project.
Well, that's not a panel. That's not an access panel. They have not empaneled, they have not registered to answer the survey. In an access panel, they first come and register saying, okay, I'll be on your panel, periodically I'll answer surveys. That is a one-off situation where you're calling, asking, can you please answer this survey? If they agree, you're giving them an incentive. This is like you're calling and saying, every now and then will contact you for a survey, will you always agree to fill up my survey? It's different, right? They're on a panel.
So I have one doubt.
You have to be a little louder. Can you use the mic?
So what we did in our recent project.
Yeah. Please don't mention brand names. Yeah.
That
XYZ brand. Yeah.
So we called them and asked them about their experience. So
right.
Can we mention as a retail audit because we are taking their satisfaction?
No, not at all. These are all one-off surveys, customized for that particular requirement. The retail audit is a specific term where a survey is done among retailers who are empaneled for the purpose. You cannot confuse this. They're different. They're fundamentally different. You cannot confuse this.
Like a company want to know how the client is satisfied.
Yeah, that is a customer satisfaction study. It is not a panel.
Okay.
They are not a panel. Those people do not agree to answer the survey. Now you are specifically requesting them to answer this particular survey. Whereas an access panel,
Retail panel, sir.
they are not retail. They are not.
Audit.
Where is retail? There is no retail there. No. Retail means shop. No.
Okay.
There is no retail there. Right? Okay. Clear about access panels? Okay. There is one more topic which is, it is a peripheral topic in market research. It's called neuroscience. There are some people who are crazy about this. Then there are old-fashioned researchers like me who will be like, it's a fad, it will come and go. This is based on our body's response to something that we like or don't like. Do you know that when you see something which you like, your pupils expand?
Yes.
That's a human biological reaction. It's not in your conscious control. So there's a technique called pupillometry. So they'll show you an ad, and if you like the ad, your pupils will expand. You can't control it. So later on you may say you don't like the ad, but your pupils have told the truth. Right? So there are things to measure your body's reaction to stress and so on and so forth. This is neuroscience. So there are people who are using this. I believe that marketing and market research is about perception. It is not about clinical measurement. Therefore, I'm not very impressed by neuroscience. But then it is something you should know. You should know that it exists. And there are companies in the media field and advertising field who are using this. TV channels, companies are using neuroscience-based research to see whether consumers like those TV programs.
Psychologically understanding.
Semi-psychological, more physiological response types. It's not psychological, it's more physiological response. Your BP will rise when you see something interesting and so on and so on, stuff like that. Also UI UX testing kind of people use these kind of things. In apps, an app in a mobile shopping app kind of thing, it's called UI, user interface.
Okay.
In those kind of situations, they use this kind of thing to see which ones people really react to in a positive way. It is not yet mainstream research. It may become more popular going forward. You should be aware of this, right? I have not covered this in any of the chapters so far, which is why I thought I'll just mention neuroscience and access panels. I'm mentioning for the first time here. You should just be aware of these things, right? So this brings us to the end of our course. I promise that I will answer the question papers. I will answer it and I will send it to you in the WhatsApp group. Right? I'm not covering it here because I need that Word document to answer it and send it. Any questions on what we talked about in the roundup so far? Or are we done? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Brings me to the end of my course. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed myself a lot.